So I'm thinking that there must be something I'm missing about how the world works, how the world can work. Because I'm thinking that it's phenomenally difficult to run a country or a group of countries. It's just an incredibly arduous, incredibly complex business to run a country. Tax system, economy, health system, policing, environment, engineering, mechanics, factories, food production. It's all just awesome if you take even a little while to try and understand the complex nature of a country. And getting it to run efficiently is an incredibly difficult process. And I know from my experience in England already, the complexity of how it works. Taxation and services, environmental services, employment, health. It's all stunning when you try and appreciate how complex running a country is and groups of countries, etc. So I'm just amazed, like a country. I'm not being disparaging about these other nations. I'm just looking at the differences and the differences in technology and development of some of these nations. But if I was in Tunisia or whatever, or Turkey or Guatemala, there are so many nations whose political scientific development is so far behind what we have in England. I'm just amazed that these countries can function. I mean, how does Guatemala manage its economy? How does Mozambique manage to run its sanitation services and food production? How do things work in Guatemala or Turkey or Iraq? It's just stunning trying to appreciate how these countries can possibly function, because a number of elements that need to be in place and working well for a country to succeed. It's just enormous, the range of things that need to work well. And I do find it stunning that these other countries are able to manage, because Britain has had a difficult history to get where it is today. I'm incredibly grateful to be living in Britain rather than in Guatemala or Namibia, etc. The complexity of running a country is just awesome. It's just amazing that a country can function properly. And I'm so grateful to be living in England. But the life experience I could have in so many other nations around the world is just really scary, basically. I mean, how does Ecuador manage its economy? It seems to me that so many nations simply are not very well developed. And as I said, running a nation is extremely complex business. And I really don't know what kind of life experience I'd have in so many places around the world. As I said, I'm not being disparaging about these other nations. The complexity of running a country applies equally around the world. I just fail to understand how so many places around the world can manage it. It just defies belief, basically. So possibly there's something I'm missing and simply don't understand. But I know with the war-torn areas around the world, political strife around the world, how so many nations manage to function justifies belief. So I'm asking people out there if there's something I'm missing. How are so many nations around the world, how are they able to cope and manage their society properly? Because to me it seems that it can't be possible to do that, because I know how difficult it is in Britain, and we are relatively stable and are developed well compared to so many places around the world, and yet here still there is difficulty in managing our production, our food, our taxation, our policing, our infrastructure. It's just incredible. So I'd appreciate some information about how so many places around the world are able to function, because I simply can't see how it's possible. So I would appreciate some information or pointers to information that would help me understand how so many other countries manage to function.